What's just some of the behind the scenes drama and tea? Like, what's some good behind the scenes drama or tea that we could get on B2K? What's some good behind the scenes drama or tea? Let's see. Omarion he always knew that he was going to be successful. He felt like the other people in the group were jealous of him, and then he used to isolate himself a lot too. From the others. Like, he was a nucleus, but he also would take his time. Like, he would also take a lot of time away from them as well. Um, let's see. Lil Fizz was the one that had the most women though. And Lil Fizz was often okay with like dealing with girls that the other members had dealt with as too. And he hated being like second choice. He always wanted to be he always wanted to be a girl's first choice. So he would try to prove himself to like sloppy seconds. Like, I should have been your first choice. You don't think I'm really fun? I'm not your type. Um, it's also speaking about it also looks like Chris Stokes and Marcus Houston always like kept an eye on them. Were always surveilling them, always watching them. And they felt like it's like the guys felt like they had freedom, but they also felt like there was a lot of there was a lot of structure to their life, and they felt like Chris Stokes and Marcus Houston were very possessive of them or possessing of them. Okay. It looks like Omarion had a real tough time with his mom dating. Like, it's like his mom was be like, hey, I'm Omarion's mom, or I'm the mom of somebody from B2K, and it's like the guys would just be really into her, and he hated that. Mm-mm. Um, Omarion always had his guard up with everybody. He felt like he had to work the hardest, that he had to do um the most training, that he had to dance the best. He felt like he was investing the most into the group, although he would never say it. Um, but I also see him trying to be fair with money, like trying to be fair with how the money was distributed. I mean, I know that they were like in their teens, but I'm saying this is like, let's see. Raz B used to cry a lot, and I also see him being like confused about his sexual orientation at some points in time. Like, they didn't want to have conversations like that about sexuality, but Raz B would, and they would try to shut it down. It also looks like Raz B would spend a lot of his money too. It looks like he would spend a lot of his money and ask some of the other members to like maybe borrow some money. Like they all tried to take care of each other like they were a family, but it definitely looks like Raz B money, like with money um would fly in and out of his hands. Okay. Let's see. What other behind the scenes tea can we get about about B2K? Okay, so what do you all think of the reading so far? Are you enjoying it? Are you big fans of B2K? Were you not big fans of B2K? Did you like them? I probably already asked that, but I want to know what were your experiences of B2K? Okay, so um looks like Raz B's mom was very conflicted about him about trying to pull him out of the group. It looks like Raz B would try to say that he didn't want to do it anymore, and his mom was like, "No, you're gonna do it. You know, you should do it." And she felt like she was like, "No, this is like nirvana for her because she didn't." I get, like I said, I get this hands off energy from her. Um, I feel like Omarion felt like he was like, I have to be first in everything. Like he's like, I'm gonna be first in line. I'm gonna be first on the airplane. Uh, he felt he had a diva complex. So Omarion was a diva, and everybody kind of sort of bowed down to him. Um, not even not. I don't even want to say like they were just trying to question it, but it was kind of like they were caught in the whirlwind of success that they did let Omarion be the leader. I mean, and it's also like they would joke that Chris Stokes and Marcus Houston were in a relationship with each other as well. Marcus Houston comes up as a Princess of Swords. Why do you think Marcus Houston comes up as a Princess of Swords? Um, the other thing is that the group members were very predictive of Omarion's success. They would say things that indicated that there was some jealousy towards how talented Omarion was. And it seems that they would say things like, "Oh, you're gonna, you could go solo, you could do this, Mari gonna, I don't know if they call him O or they call him, I'm just saying whatever, like Mari gonna do, he's gonna, have his own number one, without us, like, Mari just be dancing, man, yeah." So I see them complimenting Omarion and kind of wanting him to like, reflectively validate them. Um, and say, hey, you're pretty awesome yourself, man. Um, okay, so did Chris Stokes really make the members of this group sleep with each other? Did Chris Stokes really make the members of B2K sleep with one another? Let's see. Because we know that there is a photo of them in the bed, so they did. It's like maybe they didn't go to sleep afterwards. Maybe they just sat in the bed and they just took the photo, for that. Okay. It's like Chris Stokes was grooming them very early. I don't know if this is like 8 or 9 or 10 or whatever, but I get like they're like in their formative years. Like I get they slept in the bed together and then it started to get a little bit more weird after that. Like, um, and that's how I would say it. Like I'm not saying I'm trying to channel the words that I'm hearing. I hear it as being described as it got a little bit more weird after that, and it's like things gradually went from this like platonic experience of just boys laying in the bed together to Chris Stokes. It's like there were definitely instances of sexually inappropriate things happening um amongst the members of the group, but it's like Chris Stokes was coming up as a king of swords, and then the Hierophant following. It's like there's a part of him that would there's a part of him there's a part of him that felt terrible for what was happening or what was going on, and because the guys may it's like Rasby may not have processed the right, like as Chris Stokes would say, quote unquote, the right way, or they didn't understand it. And I just get like there's another part of him that also was like, this is what's necessary, this is what you're supposed to do. There are a lot of people that have to do these things to be successful. It's weird. just trying to repeat what I hear. Um, then I'm also seeing here where it was like the moms didn't exactly know about it either. It's like it was definitely something that they were tight-lipped about. And he was victorious, and Chris Stokes was victorious in keeping that from being talked about, even though there was like speculation um surrounding it. I get that Chris Stokes was paying them money to be quiet. Everybody, anybody that said anything. I think that does Chris Stokes have a child? Because like I get that he may have kids himself, and I feel like I don't get that he did anything to his children, but I feel like I don't know. I can't say that for a fact. I don't know if he has kids or doesn't have kids. So I can't say any of this shit for a fact. What I am saying is that I do know that he hid behind the title of being a father or having, it's like if he has kids, he hid behind the title of being a father, like, hey, I'm a good dad, like I'm good with young boys. Or he said that he was a father figure to young boys. Okay, so the next question is how did Lil Fizz and Moniece get together? How did Lil Fizz and Moniece get together? This is like Lil Fizz. I feel like for Lil Fizz, it was like love at first sight. When he saw Moniece, he fell in love with her, and he knew that he. It was like he's attract. It's like he's attracted to women that are very alpha. Um, that's how I see it. Is that he was immediately attracted to her aura. And I get that like she knew who he was, but at the same time she wasn't completely moved by being in a relationship with him. I see this as like he's more into her than she is into him. She took it very casual. I see him spending a lot of money on her, taking her out on lots of dates. Um, I feel like okay, so I'm just going to just please bear with me, but I feel like Lil Fizz has like a man can be a hoe, a woman can be a hoe. Hoe is a genderless term, but a hoe is someone that's definitely after money. They won't even have sex with you, but they're just after your money. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll date you, flirt with you. You're never going to be in a real relationship with them. I feel like Monique has that energy about her where she knew how, and I wouldn't, that's maybe not even called a hoe, but that's the colloquial term that people use when they're fearful of getting played by somebody that is not really interested in them. Like I spent this money and they were never really interested. They're a hoe. So that being said, I get that she was about her. She was very much interested in the experience that he could provide for her. She wasn't as interested in being a real girlfriend to him. Um, let's see here. It looks like Lil Fizz wanted it to work out at some point. It's like he was really in love with her, and eventually she grew into really feeling like she loved him. But I see it as like she was sexually attracted to him and attracted to the status that he brought. But she had a hard time. Like she's into very masculine men, but he had an energy about himself that she found irresistible. It's like, it's Lil Fizz. I can't exactly turn him down because he is kind of popular and kind of popping. So she gave him she gave him some passes on him being so emotional. He spent a lot of money to court her. It was more about money for like, and he was someone that I won't say that he moved with his penis, but he was used to women being attached to him after sex, and she didn't. she liked him after sex, but she wasn't totally attached to him. Um, the cards are also speaking about he felt like he felt like she was a challenge that needed to be conquered. He didn't like to be turned down, so I see it as he constantly pursued her. Now we want to know, what type of father is Lil Fizz? What type of father is Lil Fizz? What type of father is Lil Fizz? Do you all watch Love and Hip Hop Atlanta? Tell me, is Love and Hip Hop Atlanta good? Tell me in the comments. I'm going to respond to you. I'm going to start working on responding to people. Okay. So, okay. Well, what we have here, okay, so from looking at these cards, I'm seeing that he's he's Lil Fizz is an overprotective and an overly involved father. He asks a lot of questions. He's not going to really respect privacy. He believes he definitely believes in gender norms as well. I see that in these cards. He's I don't know if he has a daughter, but if he has a daughter, he's overprotective of her with sex. And if he has a son at a very young age, he doesn't want his son to be sexualized, but as he gets older, he's going to be a little bit more lenient. I see that Lil Fizz he's a dad that has very high expectations of his children. And he's quick tempered when it comes to his kids. He loves the hell out of them. He's the sort of father that will fight for his children, and he's the parent that will cuss his kids out at school. They're describing him as a parent that expects his kids to follow by all the rules. He wants his children to listen to him. He feels like he's a sort of father that expects for his children to listen to him because he has the life experience that they don't have. He's learned all the lessons. He wants them to avoid the pitfalls and the mistakes that he's made. But he's overly involved. Like he can be suffocating. If he has a daughter, if he has a daughter, he also spoils her. But if it's a son, he's very invested into trying to make sure that his son is set up financially. But if it's a daughter, she's spoiled. Like he buys her a lot of stuff. And if it's a son, he's trying to make sure that his son has some investments somewhere. Okay, so I'm gonna do another question now. This question is gonna be about Omarion and April. Why did Omarion and April break up? So were Omarion and April ever married? Because I remember April, she was really pretty. I think her head was shaped like a jelly bean. I'm just playing. I'm just kidding. I don't know. But no, I remember her. She was a very pretty chocolate girl. And she spoke very eloquently. She had a real like popular girl personality, like just very round the way. Like she wasn't real rah-rah on the show. From what I remember, I don't remember her getting into it with anybody, but I do remember that she spent a lot of time filming with Omarion. Is she still on the show? Because I know that I think Omarion left the show, but did she leave the show too? Were they together? How did that work out? Y'all tell me in the chat. Okay, so all right, the cards are saying that April was actually very happy with the relationship and she didn't want it to end, but I feel like Omarion fell out of love with her because he felt like he wasn't really as ready to be married as he thought he was. I see this as Omarion feeling like he had more growing to do, and that he was also unsure if this was his wife, or like this should be a long-term relationship. I feel like he had issues trusting her. Yeah, he had issues. He had a lot of issues trusting her, and I feel like she had issues trusting him as well, but she was more silent about it. It seems like Omarion's mom had a lot of influence over him as well in terms of like determining the trajectory of like their relationship, like were they gonna stay together or were they not. Um, I see this as I'm seeing this as them breaking up because they needed to go their separate ways. But I feel like April was very in love with him, feeling like that was her soulmate and wanted to work on it. And it did bring her a tremendous amount of sorrow. But um, I don't know. Like it's like I get that Omarion just felt like he had to go. Let's see why from Omarion's perspective, what was it why did he break up with her? Why did Omarion break up with April? Why did Omarion break up with April? Hmm. It's I don't know how many kids they had, but I feel like they have at least two. I feel like because I see the Empress coming up, but it's like it's shortly after. It seems like shortly after a pregnancy, he just realized that it wasn't she wasn't for him anymore. He felt like he was watching her evolve into a grown woman, and he felt like that was their destiny. He felt like they had like a soul union with one another. Um, Omarion was also like out of touch with his feelings. He felt like his needs weren't getting met anymore. He felt like his sexual needs weren't getting met because he was like, I feel like he wanted to introduce other women into the bedroom or he wanted to have new sexual experiences. And I'm also saying where he really isn't ready to settle down. Like he's not satisfied with a lifestyle that requires settling down. He's okay with raising children, but he's not as much ready to be uh, in a situation where he's living with someone with his children. He doesn't think the traditional lifestyle is for him. Um, the cards are also saying that the relationship it's like Omarion started the relationship, pursued the relationship, maintained it, and it's I get that April's kind of I don't see her not fighting for it, but I see her kind of being like, I hate that this happened, but I understand. Like she's very understanding. That's the best way I can put it. She's incredibly understanding, heartbroken, yes, about it, but at the same time, she felt like she's also one of those people that she's like, she believes in destiny and timing. So she doesn't think that this she's like, this isn't the end. I'm still gonna have him, but maybe we're just not meant to be together in that way. Okay, so the final question that we have is, did April sleep with Lil Fizz? I don't know why we're asking this question, but was this a Love and Hip Hop Atlanta's Love and Hip Hop Hollywood storyline? Why did April sleep with Lil Fizz? Okay, the other thing is people love to say like I believe you actually do know these people. Motherfucker, I am 28 years old and I grew up on goddamn Crime Mob and fucking Kaya, okay? My mama when I was 8, my mama was 28, okay? She had me when she was 20. I listened to Project Pat. I grew up in Mississippi and in Memphis, and a lot of this shit I just really don't know. I don't know a lot of these motherfucking artists. I don't know shit about Prince. I didn't grow up listening to Prince. Didn't grow up really listening to Michael Jackson, okay? Did not grow up listening to these people. I didn't know who the fuck Princess Diana was. All right. Okay, Trina was the baddest bitch to me. I remember my mama got me the Glamorous Life album. I really liked Ashanti. And I'm not in the music culture like that. I was a nerd. I spent a lot of time with video games, technology, but I'm a cool ass nigga. Okay. Anyway, That's to clear all this shit up. No, I don't. When I say I don't know somebody, I don't know somebody. When I say I don't listen to their music, I don't listen to their music. When I don't know this shit, I really don't know this shit. And there's a whole bunch of times y'all will see me fuck up where I really don't know this shit. Screw me for being so goddamn accurate to where you think I know this shit. Okay. Yes, they did. Lil Fizz in April, it's like there's a I get that there was like the start of like a flame with of a flame with. I get that it was. I yes, that's just a yes. I mean, it's like the most that I can say here is that it was inconsistent, but it's very it's a lot of it's an adrenaline rush for them. Intuitively, I feel like Omarion knows this as well. I feel like this is something a lot of people may know, but I get that there's like an energy or a vibe about them where it's like, you know, they may come off like brother sister, but they did have a more intimate connection than, you know, just being platonic with each other. Okay, so that being said, I want to thank you all for tuning into the reading produced by Black Spectrum Network. Click the subscribe button and hit the bell button to get the latest updates on this channel. You can purchase a private psychic reading by going to www.blackspectrumnetwork.com. If you want spiritual guidance to learn how to work with your ancestors, or you're interested in deepening your spiritual experiences, subscribe to our Patreon. You can get these and other videos at least 1 week ahead of their YouTube release date. That's patreon.com/Black Spectrum Network. Before I go, I'll leave you with these words of wisdom from the rapper Dreezy. Gave mercy to these hoes, what would Jesus do? I'm your reader, Nexo, and remember, the truth is always what? Collaborative. Thanks for watching.
Fuel my fire, take me higher, I'll be your liar too. 'Cause when we're here